What's up, everybody? Noah Kisser back here for another review for you guys today. This is the non-Mill Creek version because I don't believe Mill Creek has put this out yet on Blu-ray. I believe it could because they did put out Are We There Yet on Blu-ray, but this is Are We Done Yet? This is the Sony Blu-ray. This is my first time seeing the film all the way through. I do remember seeing about 15 to 20 minutes of this, but I barely remembered anything besides a squirrel and a deer. This is Are We Done Yet? Nick and Suzanne and her two kids live in his bachelor pad, but they want to get their own house. So then in comes wacky contractor Chuck, and he creates a whole ton of problems. And he's a very weird dude. He's a very weird dude. So he basically says, hey, there's a lot of problems with your house, like the wiring and such. So this film really goes into the wackiness of it. This film is not as good as the first one. I would barely call it a good sequel. I think it's a fine film. If this was on its own, just a family renovating a house, then it would be fine. But this film is a sequel to a really enjoyable family comedy that did really well. This film, I don't believe, did very well at all. I could be wrong. I haven't checked the box office numbers, but this film is one that really could have used some fine-tuning here and there. Alicia Allen was starting to become a bigger name in the movie-verse because she was starting to do stuff other than this. She was in a couple films here and there. She was a side table drawer in Blue's Clues. If you don't know that, that's who the voice is. She did that from the beginning. I don't believe she's doing it anymore. This film really does turn into a sequel. And what I mean is, I think of a good sequel as It Chapter 2. Yes, it strayed away from the horror aspect, but it went into the more comedy aspect, while still delving into the horror at points. Now, the horror did work for some people, particularly me, and a couple other people. But the other film went towards more the horror and cut back from the comedy, but still had comedy in it. Now, I enjoy those movies both a lot. I enjoy the first one a lot more because it is more horror-centric, and I believe it is the better movie. But I think the sequel has a better emotional aspect because I have heard some people actually cry with what happened with Bill's character. Very sad, but it is such a touching ending at the same time. This one is a sequel comedy that just falls flat. I don't think this is a funny film, but I think it has a certain charm to it that keeps it watchable. And I think that charm is Nia Long and Ice Cube. Ice Cube and Nia Long are about to have kids because she gets pregnant, and there's the very common thing of, oh no, you messed up, now I gotta leave your ass for a couple days. This film isn't great, but it's definitely one that I'm going to say I will probably give this another shot every now and again because I don't hate this movie. I think that the first 15-20 minutes are good. Once we get into the Chuck being a bit of a a-hole and just being way too weird, then we start stepping over lines that I think just go a little bit too far and make it very uncomfortable. Are We Done Yet is a fine sequel, but it's nothing compared to the first film, and that's what a lot of sequels tend to be. But we get that rare sequel like Home Alone 2, like It Chapter 2, like Spider-Man Far From Home, which to some people think is better than Spider-Man Homecoming. I personally do not think that. But stay tuned, everybody, because I got 3 more comedies to talk to you about, and those include History of the World Part 1, Wild Hogs, and Crazy on the Outside. So I will see all of you guys for those reviews later on this week, along with my reviews of the Mighty Ducks trilogy, the new series, the first episode, and on Friday, the second episode. Or I might just combine those two. I am not quite sure yet. I will also be doing a review on Friday of Godzilla vs. Kong, and on Saturday I will have my review of Nobody out. So I will see all of you guys for those reviews and a lot more this week, as well as my March ranking video and looking at what's coming out in the month of April. So I will see all of you guys in all of those videos this week.